Welcome to the Mortgage Warrior Podcast featuring Steve Dostal. Host Darryl Smart chats with the Mortgage Warrior about his no-BS approach to financing that is sprinkled in with conversations with other people in the business and around the community. So without further ado, here he is, the Mortgage Warrior, Steve Dostal.
What is up, everyone? Darryl Smart here. Mortgage Warrior Steve Dostal. Guess what, buddy?
Oh, it's a road
trip.
Oh, man.
Where are we? We are at Mann's Distillery.
Yeah,
in
we're at
Brantford.
Mann's Distillery. Craig Mann and I actually played rugby together back when I was a kid.
Yep.
When I first started, like 13, 14 years old. So Craig was a big part of the rugby club in the Harlequins here in Brantford. And it's funny because I saw Paul. We got Paul and Reta from Vodka Friday. Donna is not here because she's ill.
Yep.
She's got the vid, maybe. I don't know. Just joking.
Right,
she
you don't
doesn't.
know. I'm the very ugly replacement.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
How does it feel to be the replacement?
Yeah. Well, Paul, I've known Paul for a lot of years. We went to high school against each other because he went to St. John's and I went to BCI.
Yeah.
Boo St. John's, boo North Park, whatever. But at the end of the day, the reason why we're here today at Mann's Distillery is because we want to talk about Vodka Fridays. And Reta came up with this idea, and we just like to hear, how it started. So if you want to, repeat it because we want to go again because our audio failed on us. But at the end of the day, just give us the Cole's nose.
Yeah,
Cole's
where did
nose.
it all come from?
So, thought about it on my couch in July, trademarked it China, US, Canada, and here we are selling vodka. And actually my kid, when I said we're going to trademark it, and he goes, oh my God, we can sell t-shirts or whatever. I go, no, we're going to sell vodka. What did I know about vodka? Other than I like to drink it, which doesn't translate on a business plan. That's it. Anyway, but again, we talk a lot about on our cans actually. If you see, we've given sort of a blurb of what the actual story is. It is real, and it's 14 years in the making. He's segued in and out of Vodka Friday. Lots of people have come and gone. Usually, people that are trying to find a place to sort of recapture their lives. I mean.
Well, you were talking about authenticity before we hit the record button.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that authenticity and kind of how the club started, I guess?
It's not even a club, but we would get together on Friday nights. It was always in my kitchen.
Yeah.
It was always vodka because I went through duty free because I traveled all over the world at the time. It was girls and boys, didn't matter. The deal was we didn't want any drama. We didn't care what your life was like, to be honest. We wanted to drink more vodka than we needed to and go for last call and sing Don't Stop Believing out of tune and act like we had no care in the world.
awesome.
And that's really the truth. Yeah. So it was almost a movement, to be honest. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're creating an authentic brand that is inclusive, and it's starting to be a movement where we've always go, Vodka Friday. So do people now.
Well, it really resonates in your marketing. It really does. Like anything on your socials or anywhere else, it's just about a good time. Just be yourself and just be with each other almost, right?
It's very authentic, and the way Reta and Donna market it, because they are marketing gurus, is that it gives people a sense of community and belonging while still being authentic, right?
Yeah.
And still being ourselves, and it's such a draw.
Can you have Vodka Fridays on Tuesdays?
Any day.
Okay, I just wanted to
why.
ask that question because it sounded really dumb and it was just good. But
So why Vodka Friday? Why on the Friday?
Friday because you had 2 days to recover before you got your kids back. Why vodka?
Hey,
Like
we are all single parents at one point.
Well, you know what, and that's the thing. And that was it. Like, come and have a good time. And Saturday you basically laid on a couch and went, what was I thinking? Remember when you had BlackBerry?
Yes.
So I used to put on my Blackberries.
The BBM.
Really, Rita? That would be
BBM.
I love the BBM.
I
miss that, man.
I have friends that
How
still
the
have
hell
a
did
Yes.
they should have just evolved that goddamn phone better. Like, come on.
Right?
That was the
Come
greatest
on, man.
invention
Like,
of all time.
I got that hybrid Android thing or whatever, and it was like a brittle piece of plastic, right?
I still have friends that have a BlackBerry.
I loved BlackBerry.
I have them in my top drawer in my office. I have about 6 of them, and I want to put them in a frame, and I want to put them in the office and say how much these things were awesome at the time.
I'm a BlackBerry
And whatever.
warrior.
But one question I want to ask you guys is because being a mortgage broker, when I deal with a lot of self-employed people, what do you think what was the hardest part for you guys when you guys started this? Coming up with the ideas are always easy. It's easy to come up with an idea, but to put it into fruition, what was probably the biggest obstacle you guys had?
I would say in this industry, probably the biggest obstacle is finances.
Yeah.
It is. First of all, there's no receivable. Everything's paid in cash, so you can't borrow against cash, right? So if you're setting up lines of credit with banks, and
Words
stuff,
to my ear, my like just
Right.
like that. I love that there's capital needed.
And it's a huge volume industry. It's like we were talking the other day about Costco. Costco, I used to sell them. You go in and it doesn't matter what item you have unless it's grocery. They mark anything up only 15% because they work on volume. So anything you actually buy, for big shout out to Costco, is a deal. It really is.
Yeah.
This industry is the same. On the cooler side, it's a pennies business. On the vodka side, it's a dollars business. There's not tens of dollars. You're not making a lot, but the volume of it is insane. We met with somebody who told us the volume of what Cottage Springs is doing in Ontario, and the money that it's hard to wrap your head around as a Canadian because the dollars are so big.
Yeah.
So big.
So would you say they're kind of your direct competition? Would you say, or
Yeah.
because they do have similar products to you, but not the
I'd say
same.
the same arena.
The same
Not
arena.
product, but kind of the same arena.
Well, you should drop the gloves with them then, right? If
You
you're
know-
if you're a mitten, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got it also. I like
There's
that.
a screw loose.
I'm just joking. I'm joking, Paul.
Yeah. You know, the other thing too is that you have it's a very inclusive industry. It's almost like there's a lot of consolidating that goes on in this industry. We're pretty sure somebody will come along one day and probably offer money that we can't refuse, and that is probably what will end up happening to us, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But even in the industry, you start talking to people that are even your competitors, and they want to help.
Yeah.
They do. They all want to help. They all want to meet you. They all want to do what they can to sort of, because it's almost like an us against them mentality. Now, the thing with Cottage Springs is that they're trying to get distribution outside of Canada, but their brand doesn't mean anything. For us, probably our biggest challenge will be controlling distribution. Because if we had 1 million cans tomorrow and we could put them at market without running into the roadblocks of the government regulations, we'd sell them out.
That's
We know
the
we
other,
would.
to answer the other more of your question is exactly that, right? You can go from limited volume and now you get accepted and you need to be into the millions, tens of millions of volume. And to make that switch in this industry doesn't happen overnight. So to be prepared for that, logistically, it has its difficulties.
I was just saying, as you were talking about that, how do you prepare for that as far as canning and?
We're savants, so that helps.
But seriously,
Well, I am.
if like you say, this thing can blow up.
It will.
It's already
It already
blown
is,
up.
yeah.
It's blown
Yeah.
up locally, and you were talking about LCBO, which we'll get into. But how do you deal with that, or are you prepared for that?
So I am, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of interest outside of us as well. So we're not risky anymore. If you were coming in as an investor, our first investor, he had the biggest risk because we didn't have anything from the LCBO. The LCBO is a game changer. We didn't have anything. He was looking at me going, "This isn't going to fail. I'm watching you."
Our office
And
was
you're-
her kitchen table.
Yeah. So you know what? The one thing that I've learned, and I thank God for the experience that I've had, because when I was a director of sales and imports, they didn't like footwear. So they basically, the people that I work with, just run it. We don't care. Just make us money. And I did, really by outworking everybody. So I knew the U.S. I have a good grasp of that market. I know China. I have a very good grasp of that market, and I know
China.
Canada.
I had to do that again. Sorry.
we're gonna have our own buzzer for that. You know that?
Yeah.
I guess it's funny because Trevor Sharuka, who's over there somewhere in the group, you guys have hired him to help it. In one of the original our first podcast was talking about how Trevor and I were together, having some libations and talking about how to rebrand myself.
Yeah.
And that's how we came up with the Mortgage Warrior.
Yeah.
It was him and I. We came up with the Mortgage Warrior. So now. He just called me before, he got here, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm at Mann's Distillery because I'm doing a podcast with the Vodka Friday people."
Yeah.
And he's like, well, "I'm actually on my way there." And then when
Right.
I was talking with you, you were saying you're working with Trevor and so on and
he
so
does our
forth.
website and stuff. He's been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Great guy. Big shout out to him.
Well, and again, he's one of those guys. As soon as I went into the business that I'm in with digital media, he was the first person that messaged me and said, "Hey, let's go for a beer and talk." So,
I mean,
the guy's a wizard.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, to talk about Mann's Distillery here, I mean, I've known Craig for a long time when I was a younger kid, because obviously that got cut off the last time, but, it's really nice to see how he's evolved, too, to be able to come out as a partner, to be able to help, so if you want to describe a little bit what the partnership is with Mann's Distillery, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of your stuff is being made here. Is it not?
Vodkas for sure.
The vodkas.
And as long as we can continue that, we're not changing.
Yeah.
Because I will say, on my business card, I'm Vodka Diva, John is Vodka Snob. We both like vodka, obviously. Those are our titles, true story.
awesome.
He's director of the Vodka Girls.
That's awesome.
Anyway, probably the best vodka I've had out of this building.
That's
And-
awesome.
Well, yeah, my daughter just had the guava vodka.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Iced tea,
Guava
like a
vodka.
Long Island iced tea kind of
Yeah.
setup. And you know what? And she actually drank the whole thing, which is nice. So.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because Craig's 10 feet away. It is actually what I believe. It is literally the best tasting vodka. So last week, I had a conversation with our category manager on our vodka side at LCBO.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I'm surprised you didn't anchor us with our regular vodka, that you just took a flavored vodka first. So he explained that the lane in that area is less crowded in flavored vodka, so it gives you a better chance of survival, right?
So is there an opportunity for you guys to do that, or is that an avenue you would want to pursue now that you've kind of got this thing going, or is
it all goes
is that-
that way.
yeah.
Eventually everything's in the LCBO and you don't sell anything
What
outside
I
of
just
that.
asked was, like, do we have one in there now? Would be the yuzu.
Yeah, the yuzu
Yeah.
goes in October. So I said to him, I
did
said,
choose
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we did it in 6 months, which is ridiculous. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous to be that quick to get in.
Were you surprised by that?
No, it didn't occur to me they wouldn't take me. Everybody else in the world's surprised by it, and I went, why are you surprised? Well, literally,
should take them all.
when we got the listing, we were doing on Friday the 13th, we did sort of a brand with no product or anything.
Yeah.
And so we read it. It was on our Vodka Friday that we found out that we got listed. And so Craig actually was the one that sent us the message.
Yeah.
And I went to Donna, I can't believe they didn't take a regular vodka too. And then you talk to people in the industry and they're going, are you kidding me? Like, seriously? You got it in this short a time? I went, yeah. I
What was
don't
the
know.
ratio? 2,500 or 2,000 applicants per category.
No, that's
Wow.
coolers. So we were classified as a small distillery. So we have
Yes.
2 different licenses. So small distillery, basically they give you the nod for your product. You go through their hoops. They give you approval. You go to the stores and you basically resell your product to the managers.
Yeah.
That's our first listing. But we're now a vendor to the LCBO, which is huge. The listings, we have 3 products that they've taken for next year. 2 of them is our vodka sodas, because fizz is the shiz, as much as you don't agree.
I love that.
Right?
I don't mind the fizz.
I don't mind.
Because
I'm a SodaStream guy,
Yeah.
so I
Here's
don't
the
know.
thing, right?
Yeah.
When I reached out to Paul, he dropped off a case of this to my office, and then that night, well, my assistant Victoria took 6. And then I think you took a
I
couple.
took 3.
Took
Yeah.
3.
I was
and
being
then
nice.
my brother and I went out to the cottage and we golfed on the next day. And my brother and I, we went on the boat, and next thing you know, I'm looking in the cooler and there's none left. So we've thoroughly enjoyed all the flavors, and the fact that you have yuzu is amazing, because that's a Japanese fruit that really. And the only reason why I know it's around is because I have it in the edibles that they sell at the weed store, and it's such an amazing flavor. And then I had this on Saturday with Donna,
Oh, the new one.
the
Yeah,
new
yeah,
one,
yeah,
and
we
I was
switched
like,
it up,
can
right?
I get a couple extra to take home, because they're tasty, right? Like if you're
They are. Yeah, I agree.
and it's really blown up, this whole vodka water, vodka like iced tea, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs. I mean, clearly, I don't need
I
any
know.
carbs are the enemy.
I hear, man.
And I don't need to have any more carbs. Trust me. I don't play the rugby I used to play anymore, so I don't need to eat as much carbs.
Right.
But I'm really, I'm really happy with you guys. I'm really proud to see that something coming out of our small town, right? And having this is just amazing.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool too. And just on a side to that, we were seriously talking about that in Turkey Point with across from where you are,
He was sending
friends.
me a message all week
Yeah.
saying, this is effing great. These are
Yeah.
effing delicious.
I couldn't
Well,
believe
I
how,
want some more.
because I bought that Cottage Spring stuff in
Yeah.
the box. It's a unique product. Like it's a niche market. You know what? Everybody's all into the fitness, and I'm just into the fitness whole pizza in my mouth, right? And for me, it's I know.
Except when I'm
I
paddling.
know, except when I'm paddling. But I'm honestly seeing like it's an alternative to beer. It's an alternative to a lot of other things, and the fact that you can get it in the can. That can go a lot of ways
And
when I
keep
said
in mind,
like
it's
that.
very
but-
low calorie relatively and very low to no sugar, right? Some of our SKUs have no sugar at all.
2 of them, the yuzu no sugar, the cucumber water no sugar. The rest of them only have 2 grams of cane sugar. And so, if we had to guess, we didn't put the nutritional value on there because it's my opinion as a marketer. It's way too important the real estate on the can
Yeah.
to give it away to that. But we are going to do. We're working on this now. A TikTok or whatever marketing that centers around the nutritional value.
Yep.
And the fact that it's okay, we've given you enough that you can have your Big Mac at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's
heck yeah.
the reality of vodka.
Well,
right?
exactly.
Or order
Yeah,
pizza,
so-
or have poutine. Or
Exactly.
Is this a potato-based vodka?
No,
Or
corn.
it's a
Corn-based?
corn-based? Okay.
But I'm going to say something right now for anybody that's listening. There is no gluten in alcohol. It's a bull. By the time, I don't care if they make it from wheat. If they, yeah, it doesn't matter. By the time that it is alcohol, there is no more gluten. So that whole Tito's thing, brilliant marketing.
So is that not, it's
But
almost like
smoke
everything.
mirrors.
It's almost like when you go in the supermarket now and you got organic over here. That pepper is like $9, and then the non-organic one is $2, right?
Yeah.
And
And they've eliminated 10 of the 100 pesticides that they
Yes.
put on, right? So you can have these 10, but there's 90
they
other
rinsed
ones.
it
Yeah,
under
yeah.
the fluoride water,
Right?
right? You know what I mean?
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's really think about that. But
Talking about the flavors, where did you guys come up with that? Or was it just kind of mixing and matching,
That
or
is-
just kind of ideas in your head?
So it's a really collaboration, actually.
Yeah.
So we worked with Craig, the girl that was working here, and Donna, to be honest. I'm not cultured, or you've met Donna. She's super classy. I'm super not. That's okay.
I had zero input on flavor.
I'm funny. She's beautiful. It's what it is, right? But basically she takes the lead on the flavors, except the cucumber lemons me, and that's because I had a martini in New York that was absolutely the best martini I've ever had.
And you've tried
was
to
cucumber
replicate?
lemon.
Have you been able to replicate
So
it?
we do ready to drink martinis, by the way, and we did, and they took
seriously?
it. And they took it. The lemon cucumber they took. Yeah. It's
so
a new
how many flavors you guys have in total?
5 coolers.
5 coolers. Yeah.
5 coolers?
3 soda, 2 water. We have 5 ready-to-drink martinis that we're working on that will probably be in Alberta before they're here.
Was it Martini Fridays? Is that what you're going to call it? Or?
No, it's Vodka Friday.
Only at David's in
Vodka
Dover
Friday.
you get
Yeah.
Martini
But still,
Fridays.
you have
So.
the leeway to drink that any day as well.
Yeah.
So,
Any day
we
that
don't
ends with
discriminate
Y.
against,
Yeah, right.
against days.
Right? That's
And then we have 3 flavored vodkas that will run in 1 regular. I mean, obviously your lead is the regular vodka.
Well, I was downstairs, and when we were ordering the drinks before we got it, we had to come and scope out the situation, the place. We had to taste a couple of Craig's creations here, but there was a dill pickle vodka that I
man.
that I just saw, like, amazing for Caesars
And
apparently.
I don't understand.
delicious.
What I don't get is how the LCBO have not picked that up. Just based on taste.
So LCBO,
Like,
pick
I
up
don't wanna-
pick up Mann's
I don't want-
Distillery,
Yes,
pick up
exactly.
vodka.
Yes.
If you don't do it, you could go pound salt.
Yes.
I'm not even a Caesar, and I'm not a Caesar person at all. I don't drink Caesars, but I would drink that dill
It
pickle
is
vodka.
delicious.
The dill, just straight up, it would be amazing.
Well, I think we're gonna have to order one then.
I'm thinking so.
No,
So-
the Caesars here. That
They'll be
vodka
loosening
is
my
next
lips
level.
for tonight's broadcast. I got to do a lacrosse
Right?
game tonight.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Yeah, and I'm going to say one thing too, to the best of our knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and we've done a fair amount of research. The alcohol industry right now are all about the inclusivity of women in the industry.
Yes.
And when we open this, and I've said this a million times, I said to Donna, we are not waving that women entrepreneur flag. It is not my thing. And anytime I've ever come up with somebody that is on a stage, whatever, it's smoke and mirrors. They're not successful in their business side, but they're telling people how to do it. That's my experience, and that's not to say that all women entrepreneurs that are on stage giving advice or that. So I said, we're not waving that flag.
But it kind of goes along with your inclusivity to everything.
Right.
Am I right?
It is.
So then I'm on, hang on, so then I'm on,
Hang on.
Oh my God.
time out, Paul.
so then I'm on Diageo's site. And Diageo does Grey Goose and Smirnoff and Crown Royal. They're the kings of the industry. And it talks about, and in support of women in the alcohol industry. And then I go to Proximo's site, and they're like 1900 vodka and Jose German about women in the alcohol industry. And then I go to, and I call Donna and I go, what color bra are we putting on our flag? Pink or black? I was like, we're waving it. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
What?
But
Vodka?
we're waving that
Vodka?
flag. And,
So anytime
and
there's
so
a
to the best
beat
of our
vodka.
best of our knowledge, we are the only completely women-owned alcohol spirit company in Canada.
What does that mean to you?
It means
I know you don't want to wave the
means
flag, but what does it mean
You
to
have a great platform, and we're sort of pioneering the industry on that level.
Eventually, is that something that you would like to do, to just kind of champion that cause?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. When we've accomplished a lot,
Yeah.
and you're actually legitimate, we've made ourselves a big part of this brand. That's why our caricatures are on the back of that and our signatures.
I love that. Yeah.
That's why we did that. Was part of it is to put that in there because it is important. And I'm looking. I started in sporting goods a million years ago. I worked for Brooks Athletic Shoes when I was out of college, and I'll tell you, this industry reminds me a lot of what that industry was back then.
Yeah.
It was very, and if you don't have broad shoulders as a woman, you don't belong in a male dominated industry, but you need to navigate it differently.
So what have you done to kind of?
We've been to Queen's Park.
Nice.
We did. We went and met with the Ministry of Finance, who pulled the file for the LCBO. It was the gospel according to Reta.
Well, hopefully you weren't
But we
driving
were
up in
wrong.
like a pickup truck with hockey sticks out of your back and and doing all that crazy crap out there, which I know you weren't, but I just thought,
No.
the people
So-
here in Ottawa, and you're going to Ottawa now, everybody's like,
Not in that regard, no.
all right,
No.
good.
And I make no apologies for the fact that we are. I mean, we've probably been fast-tracked really at the LCBO for that reason as well. I mean, you almost have, you're not holding them by ransom, but in their flagship store on Queen's Quay, they have a sign there, cheers to women in the spirit industry. There's not that many.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
amazing.
That really is.
It is
cool.
kind of cool, actually. Yeah, I didn't do that I didn't get into this because I did it because I like vodka. And I really liked Craig's vodka.
Well,
Well, what do you think makes his vodka so good?
It's
Why
clean.
am I-
It's so clean and smooth.
Are we using Brantford water?
I don't know.
I'm just joking.
I was gonna say Waterford water perhaps. I don't know.
He's probably filtering that anyways.
It's
And
so good. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. So, yeah, I mean, and we won't go, if he's in a bar, we're not going to that bar in Brantford.
Yeah.
If he's got bar rail, we're not doing that. Because we work with him, right? We're working with him. I'm like big picture crazy, and again, we feel like Donna and Donna would say the same thing if she were here.
Yeah.
He's been incredibly helpful to us, and we are both incredibly loyal people to that, and that won't ever be forgotten by us.
Nice.
Amazing.
So what's next for you guys? I
don't
keep
know.
on hitting this thing. It's
Usually
like a
it's in our
punching
hand.
bag. It's like a
What's
punching
next?
bag. Well, but what's next for you
What's next
guys?
is like looking at expansion, like Reta
The
said.
States.
We're
Yeah.
flying out to Calgary on Sunday, and we're looking for inroads there. We already have a relationship set. We might solidify that early next week.
Yeah.
And then start getting product out there, and then
Amazing.
expand from there on.
Expand this
we
place
wish
as well.
we wish you guys all the best and
Yeah.
and for an amazing product from a small town of Brantford,
Yeah.
and it's really awesome.
So
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to Steve and Darryl, Steve the Mortgage Warrior, because he did reach out to us. We gave him some samples, and he really took off. And the feedback has been outstanding.
That's
so really, we appreciate
And
that.
I come from a family of live age drinkers.
I'm very much aware of that.
and
That's
my-
probably why we get along.
And, yeah, and my uncle liked it, my brother liked it, my sister-in-law liked it. Pretty much everybody that took one from me liked it. So, again, appreciate you guys coming on board and doing the podcast with today at Mann's
Yeah, it was-
Distillery.
Ton of fun. I love this atmosphere. We got to take more road trips, or we should just
Maybe
commandeer this spot for the
maybe we'll
podcast.
talk to Craig about maybe coming here and
Hey,
doing
Red.
our thing. Yeah, I mean, if these pull-up couches,
Oh, man.
I'm joking.
That would be sweet.
It's a great lounge area.
Well, I can lean
too.
back now that the podcast is kind of over now. Oh yeah.
We're here a lot.
Yes.
Right, Craig?
But for Paul, Rita, thank you very much.
No problem.
Mortgage Warrior Steve Dostal, I'm Darryl Smart, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers.